All right, we'd like to offer public comment at the beginning and end of each meeting. We'll go ahead and do that now. Is there any public comment tonight? All right, we will jump to the first action item, which is the approval of our minutes from the November 20th, 2024 meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those minutes, and if so, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann to approve the minutes from the November 20th, 2024 meeting. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and we have to do the same for the November 25th, 2024. I believe that's special meeting notes or minutes. Everyone had a chance to review those, and if so, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes for November the 25th, 2024.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim to approve the minutes from the November 25th, 2024 meeting. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item tonight is the 2025 salaries and wages. I believe this will be an item that we're going to be tabling tonight, so I would entertain a motion for that.
I move to table item number 6, 2025 salaries and wages.
Second.
Discussion, are we tabling it to a specific date or not?
I did not think that that was the board's discussion in the working session. It was dependent upon what the additional data came back and the timing on that.
I think it's a TBD at the moment, with hopes of it being at next meeting.
Yes.
That's my hope, but I'm willing to leave it open-ended after expressing that hope.
All right, so we have a motion by Ann, seconded by Bill to table this item, hopefully to our next meeting, but if not, to the next appropriate meeting where we've had the data that we need. Any additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll jump to the next item. It's the 2025 first quarter tracker. It's an action item, and our general manager and I believe Sandra will address this.
Yes, thank you. Sandra's coming to the podium. She has a short presentation. I just want to sort of tee it up that this year the board voted and the city council voted to get us out of the IURC. The IURC usually approves this document. The tracker is basically fuel adjustments for fluctuations in power supply. We get all of our power from the Indiana Municipal Power Agency, and they've done a budget and they've done these calculations for us. They've had them reviewed by certified public accountants, and we're just making this very visible and reporting it to the board. And with that, I'll tee up Sandra as some more details.
Good evening. I just quickly wanted to go through a PowerPoint presentation that kind of explains the tracker, a little bit about how we do it, and what it means for everyone. So I'm not sure. All right, so what is the quarterly tracker? The tracker is a calculation that accounts for the changes in purchase power costs from IMPA, who we get our power from, to Lebanon. As IMPA's rates increase, that cost gets passed along, and our tracker will increase. And as IMPA's rates decrease, same thing happens, that gets passed along as a decrease to our customers. Why it's important is as the fuel prices go up, we need to recover that cost. And then also for our customers, as we're paying, more or less, it's kind of a real-time adjustment for the customers to keep up with that cost. So a quick overview. Whenever you have an electric rate study, all of your trackers up to that point get rolled into the base rates. So you'll get that roll up plus whatever the additional cost to the utility is for the O&M supplies. So for Lebanon particularly, our last rate case was in 2012. At that point, all of our trackers rolled in. And since we haven't had a rate increase since that time, the tracker is actually accounting for all the changes in IMPA's cost from 2012 to current. That cost then gets allocated among residential, commercial, industrial, small power, and that goes all the way back to how the rates were allocated in the 2012 rate case. From Lebanon Utilities standpoint, we actually contract with IMPA to do this calculation for us, and then IMPA contracts with Crone and Associates. So Crone and Associates takes all the information provided by Lebanon Utilities about our usage. They also get information from IMPA. Once they complete their study, a draft is sent out and reviewed by IMPA prior to being submitted to Lebanon Utilities. Legal notices are sent out, and by the way, Lebanon Utilities also reviews that. At that point, legal notices get posted. Final report is sent in, and in the past, the report was uploaded to the IURC for approval. Since we're no longer under the IURC, we would like for this board to start that approval process. And then Ed asked today, so we added this in as if somebody wanted to know why is it done quarterly. Well, for one, we've been under the IURC since forever, and the IURC actually requires that it's done quarterly. But doing it quarterly just really helps keep you up to date rather than doing it annual. It's still 6 months behind just by doing it quarterly. So with that, on the screen is the adjustment that is applicable to January, February, and March of 2025. And we are asking that the board approve the first quarter fuel adjustment tracker.
All right, thanks, Sandra. Questions for Sandra or Ed on this specific?
So over a period of time, some trackers will reflect an increase in the cost of the power that we purchase, and therefore the ratepayer will pay more. And in other instances, the cost of the power is less and the ratepayer will pay less. On this particular tracker, how does the residential ratepayer, will they experience happiness or a little bit of sadness?
On this particular one, we have 4 rate classes, including residential, that will see a decrease in their rates in January, February, and March. And then we have 2 that went up slightly.
Thank you.
All right, anything else for Sandra? If not, entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2021 first quarter fuel adjustment tracker.
Second.
I think Tim inadvertently said 2021. I think you meant
First quarter,
2025.
2025 first quarter.
Motion by Tim, second by Bill. Any additional questions or discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks, Sandra.
Thank you.
Next item tonight is the wholesale water supply phase 1 design agreements and action item. And looks like our general manager will handle the next few agreements.
Yes, normally Ryan would handle this, but he's out of town. I have John Leitner present, who authored the agreements, and he's with BF&S. This request is for the approval of the BF&S wholesale water supply phase 1 agreement. Some of the scope of the agreements include, but are not limited to, a LiDAR survey, topographic survey, program management, and utility coordination. The cost of this agreement is included in the water bond. And with that, I want to open it up for questions for John or I. So, any questions?
John, this assumes we have a fairly concrete route now.
Correct.
You feel pretty aligned around that?
I believe so, yes.
What was that question, Tim?
The piping route for this
Oh, yeah.
seems to be fairly concrete at this point.
Have the affected property owners have been identified 100%, you feel like?
No, not 100%. We're still completely, we're not at 100% finalized on the route. We're continuing to work through right away, kind of permitting, environmental, taking that all into account. We feel pretty confident on the roadways as far as that route, but which side of the roadway is what we're still trying to iron out through various coordination with numerous entities, our staff, the city, working with Boone County Highway, trying to make sure we can have as least impact as possible as we move forward.
Point of reference, we will likely bring this project, including the route, back to you in early next year to review the route and move forward with approvals for the project. Right now, there will be a fair amount of flux on the route to suggest that there won't be 100%. I just want to set the table that there likely will not be at that time 100% lockdown on what the route will be, because we will still be working with NDOT on a rerouting of State Road 32. And what we've sort of determined is we're going to be the ones to put the stakes in the ground and determine where we're going to be as that route continues to adjust around us. So just a heads up, we may not have as much certainty in that as everyone would like, but anticipate probably January that we'll be back to you with a detail on the route.
At least on, if you'll notice in the agreement, we're contemplating phase one potentially having multiple construction packages. So you may come back with, it might not end up being a construction agreement that has everything in it when we come back for those type of items. But this is, the design is just another step in trying to get to permitting, get land acquisition, everything so that we can close on construction loans and keep with the goal of finishing phase one and having water be able to be delivered January 1st, 2027.
And this is just a necessary first step, because the next item on the agenda, I guess, is for the land acquisition assistance. So you haven't acquired any land that you need yet or got the right of way lined out. So just wanted to make sure we didn't get those two items mixed up. So
I like where we're at from a project management standpoint. I think this looks pretty good.
All right. Questions, comments for John or Ed or Jeff on this wholesale water supply phase one design agreement? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve the wholesale water supply phase one agreement with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert in the amount not to exceed $3,035,655.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann to approve the wholesale water supply phase one agreement with BF&S in amount not to exceed $3,035,655. Additional questions, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll jump to the wholesale water supply land acquisition.
this is very much a related item. This is just a request for approval for research in the county and state records for existing right of way, providing legal descriptions, and just doing all that detail work that's necessary to get the project moving forward. So any questions for John, or John, you have anything to add on to that, or?
No, I'd just like to add that we broke this out into a separate agreement to match what was submitted to SRF and the PER. We'll also have another separate agreement later for construction inspection. So it's really just trying to keep those buckets together, trying to see how we're managing the budget. Probably should have mentioned on the previous agreement that was just a little over 3 million. The budget in the PR was 3.5 million. In the land acquisition case, it's kind of all bundled in with property costs, but this is trending on the good side of the budget still, which is a good thing with this being two of our first items.
Construction inspection will be a big number though, won't it?
It will, yes. But again, that's been accounted for in the.
But you still
PER.
think it'll be within that 3.5 million umbrella?
So the 3.5 million was for design only in the PER. The construction inspection had its own bucket of funds. But again, hoping to keep, hopefully those are ceilings and we keep coming in lower is the goal of this.
You think we'll have more than one BF&S employee as inspector on this?
Aaron, we're going to have multiple projects going on at one time. Yes.
But yes, undoubtedly we
There's not
will.
going to be one contractor necessarily for this because it's so big. So we'll have multiple project points. We should have multiple inspectors.
And BFNS is big enough that I don't think that'd be a problem for them. We've had multiple BFNS employees helping us from time to time already. So appreciate having you guys.
But yeah, I would accurately say that a team of construction inspection will be needed when that time comes. Similar to, as we're talking about these design agreements or right away, I get to come up here and talk, but it's certainly not just me working on all of this. You know, we have full staff of water resources engineers ready to work and get this done in a very tight time frame.
All right, other questions on the land acquisition? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the wholesale water supply Phase 1 land acquisition from Butler, Fairman, and Seifert in an amount not to exceed $746,475.
Second.
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Bill to approve the wholesale water supply Phase 1 land acquisition for BFNS in an amount not to exceed $746,475. Additional questions, comments, discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the next one is the water supply BOT program, permission to advertise.
I guess one question for John is, can you just quickly go over what the BOT, the build, operate, transfer is, and just for the benefit of the people who might be watching online, and how it's led to better project delivery for us?
Yeah, build, operate, transfer is another term for a public-private agreement. Those agreements are qualifications-based selections allowed by the Indiana Code. So there's multiple ways the Indiana Code allows for projects to be procured, contractors or developers to be selected. The one everyone's most familiar with is design, bid, build, where you basically get 100% a set of plans together, send it out, get bids, get the low price. There's some checks on references and things like that, but basically you're going with the low bid. In the build, operate, transfer case, with that method, we're going out for a request for proposals to get qualifications. We're not going to have 100% plans when we go out for these. We're in this case, we'll probably have a preliminary engineering report, but enough to kind of get a good general idea of the scope. Hopefully we'll get multiple responders in. We'll need to form a scoring committee of Lebanon Utilities, City. We can talk more in detail about that as we lead up to it. BFS will not be part of that scoring committee. We will be there to help both sides, the responders and the scoring committee, make sure that we get the most qualified contractor or developer for Lebanon Utilities to move forward with that work. And at that point, then we'll be able to negotiate scope and a guaranteed maximum price with those developers. Could be one, could be multiple developers, depending on construction packages or size of contractors, capacity. Kind of trying to leave that open and see what kind of responses we get. And it seems to be the most flexible way to move forward, and definitely best on schedule control to try to hit, again, that January 1st, 2027 goal that we have.
And I really like that guaranteed low price, because that means that you know what you're going to pay. Whereas if you go with the low bid, sometimes what happens is you get a lot of change orders, and you might not get the best value, but it's in their best interest to do things in a way that helps you. But with that, if there's no other questions, I'd like to ask the board for permission to advertise.
And I guess one other point with, I think we've been under contract for 5 minutes now, but the urgency and the speed of this is trying to get a collaborative team together. So as we continue with the design, it will be very helpful to have a developer or contractor on board to help with real-time pricing, help with construction methods. It's easy to draw something on paper. It doesn't mean that's always the best way to construct it in the field. So getting that valuable input from those who are actually going to construct it early on in the process, rather than being at that 100% set of plans where if you change something, as Ed mentioned, that's a change order. Rather than at the beginning, we can do some value engineering and try to figure out how to deliver this project. Cost is always important, but speed is really critical on this one as well.
I have a question. Do we anticipate that one single contractor will be awarded a BOT contract for all 4 construction packages?
That'll be up to the scoring committee, but the RFP is going to be written in a way that will allow one or more developers to be selected.
My personal hope, Aaron, would be that we have multiple qualified, and maybe individual expertise in certain aspects could take over based upon maybe somebody's better at constructing lines versus stations or different pieces or towers. So we'll just have to see who's interested. We know that we have multiple folks who have been interested in our work in the past, but I think with these projects, we may expand the field a little bit. That would be my sense.
Another comment I'd like to make is that I would like to see 2 board members on the scoring committee, because this is so important if there's 2 board members interested in serving on the scoring committee. But we can't have more than 2 board members on the scoring committee because of meeting restrictions. But I think this is an important enough topic to where if 2 board members are interested in serving, that it would be beneficial. Just an opinion.
All right, thank you. Good information. Anything else for John? If not, I entertain a motion.
I move to approve Butler, Farmer, and Cipher to advertise only for the wholesale water supply BOT program.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Tim, to approve BF&S to advertise for the wholesale water supply BOT program. Any additional questions, discussion, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, John.
Thanks.
All right, next item is the approval of our claims, payrolls, and transfers. Everyone had a chance to review those dated December 4th, 2024. If so, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the claims payroll transfers dated December 4th, 2024 in an amount of $1,184,856.26 for claims and payroll, and $9,158,158.46 for transfers.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Ann, to approve the claims, payrolls, and transfers dated December 4th, 2024. Additional discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item is any other business for the board. Ed, you have anything tonight?
No, sir.
Anyone from the board have anything else?
I think Sandra's got something.
Okay, Sandra?
I'm not very organized up here. Give me just a second.
No, we don't believe that for a second. We know how organized you are.
Well, Sandra's saying that I can report to the board that we are scheduled with IFA to do an SRF pre-closing tomorrow morning.
Really? SRF pre-closing. What is pre-closing?
It means that everybody shows up, make sure all of the documents are in order, and they identify any details that need to be ironed out between then and the scheduled closing, which is the end of the month.
Thank you.
All right, real quick. I think they're going to put something up on the screen here, but I just wanted to give a big shout out to Jalen, our customer service manager, and Danielle. They came to me probably about a month or so ago and said, hey, what do you think about us doing a food drive? And I said, well, I think that's pretty fantastic. We've done them in the past, but we haven't done one lately. And there was some pictures posted to Facebook, if you saw any of them, but there was quite a turnout by our employees, and I'm going to let Danny talk more about that. And I did hear that there was a run-in by one of our board members getting food in here. So I just want to thank everybody, and then Danny has some particulars on it.
So we donated 671 pounds of food, which is approximately $1,200 to our Lebanon Caring Center, which benefits Boone County families. We just wanted to thank the community, but most importantly, our staff. They really turned out. Just with their generosity, we couldn't have made it happen literally without them. Also, I'd really like to shout out Jalen, because she is kind of the co-conspirator in all this. She helps me come up with ideas and our posts that we're doing on Facebook about stuff, and she is awesome with everything. Also, all of the guys for helping us load and unload everything, because it was very heavy. So.
Outstanding. Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, I just want to thank our employees. Our slogan, neighbors serving neighbors. We're
Absolutely.
just putting that into practice here, because all of our customers are our key accounts, and we're just trying to take care of them best we can.
Yeah, and a lot of our employees contributed cash also. So we, a couple people went out and shopped for those items with all the cash that they had collected from the employees. So we think it was pretty fantastic.
Let's make it annual.
We will.
Great.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any other business for the board? All right. Any other public comment tonight? Yeah. Let's just hop to the podium and state your name and address, please.
Jody Stewart. My question would be for the first, tabling the salaries and wages. Can you tell me what those are? What you guys, just what salaries and wages you guys?
So I'll answer the best I can. And if someone else would like from the personnel committee, would you rather answer that?
I can do it.
Okay.
So each year by law, we are required as a board to approve every employee's salary that sits within the utilities. So we're at 49, 50 employees. So that comes forward every year at this point in time.
Okay. And then Sandra, she said that we are no longer under the IURC. Is that, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, when did we stop being under them?
What has it been?
September.
Yeah.
I believe it became official September 6th, I believe.
And who made that decision? Was that you guys' decision?
The combination of us and the city.
Made the decision? Okay.
Yeah, we approved it, and the city was also required to approve it.
Okay.
We approved it first.
And that was in September of this year?
No, the approval for by the IURC occurred in September. About 60 days before then, the city council held a public hearing and adopted an ordinance, and about, maybe 2 to 4 weeks before then, the utility board approved a resolution recommending to the city council that they withdraw from the IURC.
Yeah, and I guess I can add on that we're under the jurisdiction of the IURC for service territory, and we've been, and just not rates and charges. And the water and wastewater hasn't been under the IUR jurisdiction for rates and charges for many years. I want to say 2003 or 2004. This was just for the electric utility. So,
Okay.
clarification.
And then, did she say, were you saying the company is NIMPA? Or what was the name of the company?
It's the Indiana Municipal Power Agency, because we don't have any power plants. All of our power is purchased from the Indiana Municipal Power Agency. And there's a commission, and I've got a seat on that commission, and they provide us power. We have a contract with them. They have a fuel mix, and it's a very economical way for us to get power. Our rates are generally lower than people around us. So,
Okay, so Indiana Municipal is who that was through. And then, I think that's all my questions.
Okay, thank you
Okay,
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, looks like our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, December 18th at 5 PM. Anyone else have anything for the good of the order? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn. Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.